I'm Margherita Tumiger from Crawford and Gray Architects. We are a Notting Hill-based office. We are a small office of 6 people, and we've been around Notting Hill and Portobello for 20 years or so. We just moved in a new office by the canal in Kensal Road. We're very excited by the new hub of designers where we are in. And we do mainly residential, and because we work in central London, we do mainly refurbishment. So we always deal with listed buildings, old buildings, Victorian houses, and things like that. We do houses, as I told you, and I love houses. So I'm particularly proud of a house that I did last year for a really interesting couple. They just came back from the States, where they've been living for 20 years. So they were so enthusiastic to come back to London. They bought this very big house in Holland Park, and it was a very bland house, basically a blank canvas. And the great thing was the collaboration that started between the 3 of us. The wife and the husband were such different personalities, and their children went to university, so they were just alone in this big house, and they could do whatever they wanted. And we started with their belongings, the art they have. They're originally from South Africa, so they had a lot of fabrics and sculptures from South Africa. And we just tried to build a house around their possession. And the beautiful thing we did, we demolished a big conservatory they had at the back, and we gave them back a garden.
At the moment we have a project which is a country house from a client that we previously worked with, which we did a design for a townhouse in the city. And it's quite an unusual project for us because it's a new build, and the design is very modern. And we normally are, with projects, quite constrained because we have an existing building and we always have to work within the walls of the existing building. The role of the architect, I feel, is always adapting, and our role, or our job, is very versatile. We don't just design. I think a lot of people think we just sort of get a pen and sketch something on a piece of paper, but we do a lot in a whole project. So we're always adapting, and I've read some interesting articles from RIBA about architectural companies who have now gone into product design, lighting design, and so on and so forth. But we do that anyway, and if a client would want something in particular, then we're happy to design it and adapt to the situation. I think that as a practice, we're always diversifying, so the role, or our role, as an architect is always changing. Probably the name just needs to be changed slightly, the name of architect, but we are always sort of evolving to meet our clients' needs and the project needs. So.
My favorite building in London is Nisden Mandir. It's a Hindu temple in the suburbs in northwest London. The first time I drove past, I couldn't believe. In the middle of the Victorian houses, there was a white marble temple. And then I later discovered that it's got such a fascinating history. The marble was bought in Italy, was all shipped to India, where sculpture carved it, and then was sent back to London, where it was assembled only by volunteer. Nobody was paid to build this temple.
I don't know if fascination is the right word, but I think as a collective practice, we all sort of like the same things. Food is one, and in the sort of result of this, we have quite a large kitchen for quite a small office. And every Friday we sit around our meeting table, which is really a dining room table because I think it's used as a dining room table more. We sit around like a sort of family because there are only 6 of us, so it makes sense. We all talk, bond, talk about architecture, about food. And what happens is someone in the office normally cooks on this Friday lunchtime. So it's quite a nice excuse to sit down and invite even a client or a consultant to learn a little bit more. We prefer it to the sort of normal CPD sort of arrangement. It seems more personal, I think, to meet people in this way. And the food is very good, so maybe we can invite you as well.